Hi every baby, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Kidden and today I'm Hello Kitty or Hello Kidden, whichever you prefer. But today's video is actually a topic-based videos. A lot of you guys said that you love when I just kind of chat and speak about topics and things and my experiences. So I chose the topic of my 24/7 diaper experience. We're going to talk about pros and cons. We're going to talk about some specific to me style things. Let's just jump right into it. I actually took the time to write some notes down because I kind of documented this experience. Though I still consistently wear, I'm not what I would call a 24/7 baby. I oftentimes will take my diaper off when I go to my real life job. I also am an adult content creator and I do not intertwine my little space with my adult content things. So all of those occasions I'm not diapered. But we will go over some specifics of why it wasn't necessarily something, at least at this point in my life, that I could continue with. Being 24/7 in diapers, I was very warm. So I get overheated and silly me, I decided to try this lifestyle during a hotter time of year. It wasn't quite summer, but I did try when it was creeping into summer, and here in New York, it gets very toasty. The area that I live in as well has no tree coverage or anything like that. So like I'm in my house and it is a hot box. I know a lot of you guys from other countries and regions areas do not have air conditioners. So this just sounds like, wah, American crying about something that we don't even have. But I don't have central air in my house. I have no coverage. I try to wear diapers. It is really, really hot. I have AC window units that I will turn on and try to cool down specific rooms, but the rest of my house, it's kind of just like, your girl's gotta suffer. So it got really, really warm. Next thing that kind of was not working in my favor is that I live close to my business. My business is a restaurant. If you are new here, I do own and operate an actual restaurant. And I have uninvited guests that will knock on my humble abode and think that it's something to do with my business because it's in the sort of general region of my restaurant. People think that like they can just show up whenever. So I will be in my tank top and, oh, you can't see, but in my tank top and in my diaper, and I will hear somebody knock on the door and I quickly have to find something to cover up with. This is definitely personal for me. It happened today. Someone knocked on my door and they asked if I wanted to be part of their donation. And I was like, well, listen here, if you could just come back over an operating hours, that would be awesome. I threw these bloomers on and I had like a t-shirt and I looped the t-shirt over my arm and I just like was like, hello. Frustrating. That's definitely something that applies to specifically me. So social situations, things that are not planned, it isn't great for me. Some other cons, again, specific to me, is that it's confusing for my daddy. So he knows that my baby space, specifically like the diaper related stuff and adult space, do not intertwine. Sorry, my screen's being annoying. We don't intertwine that between our relationship. When I'm in a diaper, he sees it as, okay, she's in a headspace that like we don't cross that boundary. But sometimes I'm really just like video game playing and I just wanted to wear a diaper because I'm being a lazy baby and it's so convenient, you know? He sees that and it kind of messes with his headspace and he's just like, oh, I guess that means like it's not adult time, but I was wearing 24/7, so it's like no time is adult time. For me, I'm like, well, I could just take the diaper off. You know, I'll just take the diaper off when adulty stuff is about to happen. But for him, it was like nothing could be initiated because, you know, X plus Y equals Z. You know what I'm saying? As wholesomely as I can say that, it kind of interferes with our ebb and flow when it comes to our adulty spaces. for he and I, the diapers are absolutely non-sexual, and it can be confusing. When it comes to like social situations and stuff, for me, this wasn't an issue. My social life is, maybe this sounds super lame, but it is predominantly online. Like, my friends live in my hecking phone. Hi kiddenkatt, I really hope that we get to hang out maybe this winter. I love you so much. As well as a few other people who I have been talking to and who I bond with. Not your kitten, hi. There are some people who I would love to know in person, but for the most part, I really am quite a home baby, a homebody, and so social situations are kind of whatever. My parents are aware of my lifestyle. I've seen other like Instagram posts and stuff, like my parents have to like bring my diapers and stuff because I get them shipped to their house, and sometimes oopsies happen, sometimes packages are open, etc. They know about my lifestyle, so like I don't know, it's nothing to me. That is something to consider outside of me personally, is some people actually like to go out and have a social life. So keep that in mind if you're thinking, I'm gonna go 24/7. It can interfere, you know? You have to bring your diapers. You have to think about what you're wearing. You have to think about the diaper peak. You have to think about the temperature. You have to think about a lot of things, the occasion, the situations, and potential for embarrassment, such as leaks, such as diaper peaks, such as the bulkiness, all that. Just keep that in mind. Me personally, I don't give a heck. Somebody was like, in my opinion, almost rude enough to point something like that out, I'd just be like, they're my period undies or something. Like, make them uncomfortable back. Like, why would somebody point that out? I know that there are people who would, but like, what the heck? A few other cons before we get to the pros. I'm very babbly. I apologize I talk so much, but I'll just try to brush over them. The amount of trash that you will have will definitely increase, and that does mean waste in general, and waste in general is not really environmentally friendly. So keep that in mind. You can totally lean towards the reusable cloth diapers. Me personally, they do not resonate with me. So that's another con, because I can't find an ethical way to go through that many more diapers. I'm already going through quite a few, so going through that many more, living the lifestyle 24/7, it just doesn't vibe with me. More trash, more, you know, to fill your garbage with, as well as more in the environment. Oh, there was another thing that popped into my head. The money. Diapers are expensive, again, unless you're using reusables, which, like, if you do that, I'm assuming the dampness and stuff doesn't bother you. I have to do a whole video on specifically cloth diapers, which I absolutely will. We'll cover some more details in a next video. It just doesn't make me feel baby to wear diapers like that. The price of diapers is not cheap. So I depend heavily on companies reaching out to me. I depend heavily on my wish list and people sending me stuff. People send me their extras and things like that, especially if like y'all want me to do reviews on something specific. Awesome when somebody can just send them to me. This isn't a cheap thing. You know, I have to make sacrifices within my financial decisions to be able to have, use, wear, and explore diapers. So that is something to keep in mind, is if you're going to be 24/7, you'll get used to it. So if you find yourself in a situation where you don't have diapers, like, you might tinkle your pants. So now that I've made it sound like the worst decision ever, let me tell you why I even bothered and why I still continue to wear. Those are the cons, these are the pros. They make me feel less anxious. They help me in such a strange way. I feel like it's more of like a if you know situation. Like, you look at somebody and you're like, why are they wearing a diaper? And they say, oh, it helps with my anxiety and stress. You're like, why? This is what I always say. It's the same idea as people who love weighted blankets. I don't know exactly why the pressure of a weighted blanket makes somebody feel good, because that specifically doesn't resonate with me. But a diaper hugging around my hips, booty, thighs area, and my stomach, like, that is so comforting to me. It helps me with like anxiety. Personal pro, I love that I feel comfortable enough to wear a diaper to the movies, or even just watching movies at home. You can just sit there. You don't have to get up. You can just sit there. Same with gaming. My daddy and I will sometimes play games together on the computer for hours. I don't have to get up. He literally has to pause and he has to take jingle breaks, and I'm just like, I'm out here living though. I am out here living though. Really convenient. Another pro. It really helps me sink into a deeper little space. At this point, I can wear a diaper and it doesn't feel like some sort of immediate regressor. Some things will still really get me into a little space, certain toys, shows, music, activities in general. But because I do wear quite consistently, it's not like putting a diaper on immediately sends me into a regressed state. But if I don't have one on, it's like incomplete. Like that headspace just is incomplete. It's so comforting to just know that I'm wearing, and that I'm always wearing, because we are talking about this being a 24/7 experience. I'm always wearing, I can just slip into a little space. I can do what my body needs to do without even thinking about it. It's so baby. That's what babies do, you know? And I love that. I love that I can have that as an option in those times of wearing so consistently. I think the last pro that I want to cover, which I could literally talk about this specific topic, like the pros and cons of diapers 24/7. I could talk about this forever, but for this video, for the sake of time, because I have so many other things to chat about, the last pro is that for me and my daddy, as I mentioned, there's issue in the relationship when I'm wearing, because adult sexy time gets a little bit confusing, but there's this other additive to the dynamic that is so unique that I would not have if I didn't have this diapered lifestyle. Him changing me, it's so vulnerable and sweet, and it's just a feeling with a person that I have never had before. So it's really comforting, and it's something that I get to, I guess, experience with my partner, and I think that that's really cool. It's not a necessity for your partner to be involved in your ABDL lifestyle, sexual or not. Kink is a little quirky thing, so never pressure anyone into that. Consent. I like to always put that out there. For he and I specifically, it is something that's super cool that he encourages for me, and it's very comforting, and we get to experience it together. We're gonna go into a completely different sort of segment of this video. I don't even know what to consider it. Maybe tips? If you are thinking you would like to start this 24/7 diaper lifestyle, air horns, some tips along the lines of, what are the best diapers to consistently be wearing? This is an entire conversation in itself. If you're wearing 24/7, you do not want to be maxing out every single diaper. Your body needs to be able to breathe. For princess parts, for prince parts, regardless, you don't want to be wearing the highest capacity diapers all the time. I know your brain is probably well, if I'm wearing 24/7, I should be wearing the new Rear's 12,000 milliliter diaper all the time. Though that's cool once in a while, especially for challenges and wanting to max something out, I understand, I get it, but you want breathability. Shifting from ABDL diapers to medical diapers, I highly recommend. ABDL diapers, Bambinos is a great go-to. They have sticky tabs, they have hook and loops. Their capacity isn't super high. They're a daytime diaper, so you'll be changing a little bit more, but it's so much better for your private parts to be able to consistently be changed if you're always going to be diapered. It's really good to let it air out. It's good to have baths. It's good to stay clean. You want to basically avoid rash at all costs, because once you get a rash, it is not fun to wear a diaper. It's uncomfortable and yucky, and so you want to avoid that at all costs, which leads me into having creams and powders that work for you and your skin sensitivity. Barrier creams of any sort. Aquaphor, that's a good one. Aquaphor, so once you change a diaper, you put Aquaphor on, especially if you are messing diapers, which that might have to be a whole video in itself. We're not going to talk about poopy, messy yuckies in this video, but if you want me to, I don't even know why I said that. You guys have been asking me to. I'll probably have to cover that in another video. Aquaphor, powder, just make sure there's a barrier between you and your bodily functions in the diaper. Don't max it out. If you start to feel it's a little squishy, yucky, change. And if you are messing once you feel like you're all done, change. Do not sit in it. I know that like being baby yucky is fun, but like don't sit in it. You can get a rash, especially if you're a girl. Things can happen. Not just a girl, but princess parts, you know what I'm saying? Things can happen. You don't want to risk it. Let's talk about 24/7 and public situations. As I was mentioning almost in the con section, you have to plan things out. You can't just have a little purse or a little satchel or something. Like, you have to have a bag, you have to have your wipes, you have to have potentially like a little mini powder. You have to think about like the smell, and you have to think about people around you. If you're 24/7 in diapers and you know you're using your dippy and it can literally smell like tinkle, you have to keep that in mind, that other people around you, like, that's not kind to like infiltrate them with the smell of urine. You want to use like powder or like essential oils. I like to take essential oil rollers and put them like on the outside of the diaper, on like the leak guard area, nothing near the actual like prince or princess parts, but you know, I like it to smell good, especially if I'm going out. Lots of powders. There's powder that's scented like lavender and stuff, so you can get scented powders that are still safe for your skin. And then if you do need to mess, then you have to excuse yourself from whatever social situation you're in. You need to go to the bathroom. You can't do that around people because that is breaking consent. Just keep that kind of thing in mind. If you go out and you need to change a diaper, I would recommend bringing like a bag with you and maybe even a hand mirror. So if you're messy, you can put it in a bag, tie it, put it in a garbage. Be respectful of people. This is your thing for you. This is not for the public world. You have to really keep that in mind. And hand mirror is just to kind of be able to angle and look and make sure that you have cleaned yourself. Another thing to keep in mind, you never want to not have your diaper covered. You want to make sure that you're always discreet and polite. Why did I stop being 24/7? Predominantly, I didn't want to confuse my partner, because if it ends up being an issue in any way, shape, or form of my actual life, if it starts to interfere with my actual life, I am not feeling like it's a coping and helping. It's more of a problem. So I found a healthy balance of wearing. I would say I still wear a majority of the time, but really honestly, I'm alone the majority of the time. If we're going out in public together, that's not, you know, there's no chance of like direct adult intimacy. So like I'll wear out, you know, I'm gonna wear my diaper out. When my daddy's coming home from work and, you know, we have some spare time together, I'm gonna make sure the diaper is off before he gets home. And that's just what I want to do. He has never asked me to do this. This is all my decision. It's all what I think is best for he and I. And then the next thing is work. I just cannot wear a diaper in my restaurant. It is so hot. There's no AC. I work by the fryers. It's very, very, very hot in the kitchen. Right now, it's like a 90-degree day, and in the kitchen, it's usually about 100 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. It's brutal. And the last thing is, I should cover a video about this too, bedwetting. I get used to wearing a diaper, and sometimes, like I said, I need to take the diaper off for adulty stuff. And if I go to sleep without a diaper on, and I get used to that pattern, I could just tinkle the bed. I do have waterproof sheets and stuff, but if an occasion happens where I cannot be diapered, I don't want to not have control of my bladder. It's mostly mental for me, because you can't just become incontinent. You know, your bladder can weaken, but my headspace, especially when I'm sleepy, I forget that I'm not wearing a diaper. Alrighty, my friends, I think that is going to be it for this video, because I have been so chatty. I hope this video isn't too long. I hope it was helpful, or at least entertaining, or something that you could just put on while you are cleaning the house or something. But regardless, I'm going to end it here. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please check out my Patreon for more Little Space and ABDL lifestyle content, as well as just exclusive videos in general. Just as a teaser, I actually am putting out some workout videos, some follow along workout videos. So not just my baby life, but like my real life, my health and fitness stuff. If you would like more from me in general, please check out my Patreon. It is the biggest support for me and my lifestyle that you could do. Either way, until next time, forehead kiss.